This is the whole thing? I told you we were auctioning off the restaurant.
Put that mic close to your mouth.
So,
A little closer.
obviously I don't do this very often.
A lot closer.
A lot closer. Is it even on?
Yeah, it's
Okay. Obviously I don't do this a lot. Usually I'm on the other side of all this pandemonium. I can look around this whole room and, I have stories, I have memories, I have funny stories, most people. And it's fun. I don't know, but
Get that mic up.
all right. But let me just first start off by saying thank you all. I really appreciate it. Congratulations to the governor. Congratulations to Wendy. Just want to recognize you both and move on from there. Also would like to say it's January 6th. Happy Insurrection Day. Tommy, you sure the votes got counted correctly?
Yeah, we're all good. It's gonna be
All right,
come on, roll.
All right. I'd like to thank, there's just so many people I'd like to thank, but I decided not to thank individuals. I just have to thank people, the customers, the patrons. I'd like to thank the distributors. I'd like to thank my employees. And I think back to all the employees that I used to have. And it's 30 plus years, and I can't go back and name them all, but it's to the point where now their kids are working for me, and that's kind of amazing thing, but it's true. All the relationships that started because of the Coyote Grill, all the relationships that started, the kids that have worked for me, and it's really been amazing. So I'd like to say thank you to patrons, friends, distributors. Special thanks to my staff, past and present. Big special thanks to Nate Peterson for helping me out for so many years. He's not here right now. That's a big thank you. So I always get asked a couple of questions, and they're pretty much the same questions all the time. So I figured I'd try to quickly wrap it all up, real quickly. So the first question I always get asked is, how the hell did you find this place? And that's a long story, and I'm gonna make it pretty simple, pretty quick. So I was working out in Cape Cod at a place called the Landfall in Woods Hole. And back there, I ran into a chef. His name was Bill Lee. Bill Lee was helping the Estes out. And so I got to know Bill real well, and I found out he was the executive chef of Waterville Valley. And at that time, he ran the mountain, all the facilities at the mountain. He ran the conference center, and he ran, what's the name of that place?
Finish line.
Finish Line. So I got to know him, and we were real good friends. So that was in the summer of '88. So that summer goes by, I go back to school, and I decide I'm gonna have one more last summer up in the Cape. So go out to the Cape, we finish up, and then I decide I want to be a ski bum. And I used to ski a lot. So we head west, and we go out to Steamboat, we go out to Breckenridge, and have jobs all lined up. And when I get there, same question: do you have a place to live? I'm like, no, why? They're like, well, come back when you have a place to live. Now, isn't that funny? It's kind of ironic, because that's the same problem we're having today. It really is. So from there, I decided to bum around there, and then I started running out of money. So we head back east, and I'm outside of a cornfield in Indianapolis, and a payphone rummaging around my car for quarters. And I get enough, and I call the conference center, because Bill was working at the conference center. And I said, hey, Bill, I'm broke, and I'm homeless, and I need a job. And lo and behold, that summer, or that winter, I came up here, and it was the winter of '89. And I started working right here in this building. And I started working with Ray Anderson, Bill Lee, and I had one of my best meals I've ever had here, and Ray Anderson made it for me. It was a schnitzel with braised red cabbage, brown gravy, and it was that good. But from there, I started working little odd jobs, and I was doing all these jobs and going to all these different houses for Tom corporate, and I was doing parties of 10, 15 people at a house and entertaining them. And then I started staying around a little bit more, and next thing I know, I got a phone call in the spring of '90, and I'm asked to go up to Tom Corcoran's office. And then so I go up to Tom Corcoran's office. I think I'm getting fired. And he sits me down. We go through this long interview process, starting with, where are you from? What's your dad do? You got any sisters? Any brothers? And that was the whole conversation. And he goes, well, I just took over this restaurant down in Town Square, and I want you to be the chef. So that's where I started, at the Brookside Bistro in Town Square. We demoed that place. We put out, changed the bar, we changed the patios, we added patios, we added awnings, and that ran for quite some period of time. So that's how I got my beginning. That's how I got my start here. And like you said, Tom Corcoran, he brought me here, got me here, or kept me here. And from there, I moved out to Portsmouth, and then I ended up in Fort Lauderdale. And that's when I came up here on a little vacation, because we had to go to a wedding in Boston. And I said, I want to go up and see Corcoran, and I want to go see Tor Brumbaum. Tor Brumbaum he was in charge of the Hotel and Restaurant Association in New Hampshire. So I went over, saw him, and that's when I ran into Tom out in Town Square, and I said, Corcoran's got my number. And that's what we did. And the conversation, getting my number from Tom, was quite interesting. And the reason why was we were going to open a brew pub in Plymouth back in, geez, it was 90, 95, 94. And that didn't happen, so I came up here. So next thing I know, I get a phone call from Tom, and we cut a deal over the phone, pretty much sight unseen. And I remember the conversation we had, and I said, so Tom, what's upstairs in the restaurant? He goes, well, I don't know. He goes upstairs. He goes, all right, so there's stuff. I said, well, what kind of stuff? I don't know, restaurant stuff. I said, okay, restaurant stuff. So we work out a deal. I come up, and we leave, and we hit 95. I got this U-Haul, and this U-Haul, a 14-wheeler U-Haul. I got an auto transport behind me, and I got a car on that, and we're coming up. So I'm crossing the GW, and I think there's like 8 to 10 lanes that converge into 2. And this is the day before Thanksgiving. And here I got this 30 feet of tractor trailer behind me, and I'm stuck. I can't move. And I look in the rearview mirror, and I'm like, hey, Barb, I can't move. And Barb was my wife at the time. And we had walkie-talkies because we didn't have cell phones. There was big satellite phones. So I'm looking in the rearview mirror. I'm like, well, I better go. Everyone's screaming. Everyone's yelling at me. And I go. And needless to say, the thud. I'm like, what's that? I start pressing on the gas. And then I just look in the rearview mirror, and the auto transport is on its side, on top of some lady's car, and she's screaming her head off. And I'm like, I just better go. So I left. So I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I don't have insurance for this. So I dropped the auto transport off in Newport, New Hampshire, and I dropped the van off in Plymouth, and to this day. That's that. So the timeline here is, I got up here the day after Thanksgiving, and December 15th we opened the two standing room only. Now keep in mind, did everything in that time frame, from registrations to licenses to fees to menus to setting up American Express cards. So we did that. And we opened, and it was great. So, and then the other question I get always is, how did you come up with that name? And I'm like, that's a tough one. I said, but have you ever met my ex-wife? And have you ever met her father-in-law? Or my ex-father-in-law? Well, so I sent them down to the deed of registries for names or whatever it was, and they come back smiling. Oh, what was the name? You know, and here I am thinking 49th Street Grill, 98 Valley Place, something. And they go, Wild Coyote Grill. And I had flashes of the Roadrunner. Flashes. And I'm going, beep, beep. I'm like, no, but I'm so busy that I'm like, okay, I got other stuff to do. I'll worry about this another day. And to this day, I still haven't gotten a cease and desist order from Warner Brothers. So that's that. So, but in any account, that's my short little story. There's a lot there. There's a lot of stories, a lot of memories made here. There's a lot. I can look around this room and just point to like anybody and has some funny story, something. So, but anyway, in closing, I would just like to thank everybody once again with my heart, my soul. I stand humbled in front of you. I stand honored in front of you. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you all.
Someday we'll
That was